Today, let's discuss Homelander's gear and color palettes for Mortal Kombat 1, because in just 4 days or so, Homelander finally becomes playable and I could not be more excited. But first up, let's react to his new intro dialogue posted on Twitter.
Hold up. You do movies too?
Oh, want an autograph?
Yup, of course you gotta tease the two movie stars fighting each other. Johnny Cage does not care about Homelander's mass murdering or anything like that, he just wants to know about his movie career. Out of all the DLC characters so far, I think I'm the most excited to see Homelander's intros with all the different characters.
You should have brought your whole super team.
You should have brought your own coffin.
Even though he's not voiced by Anthony Starr, I think Chris Cox is doing a really good job, but let me know your thoughts in the comics. Do you think Chris Cox sounds good? I think he sounds very similar to Anthony Starr from the Amazon show, I really do. Which is quite impressive how good voice acting is almost magical in that regard. You can almost perfectly emulate how somebody else sounds and the cadence of their voice, all that cool stuff.
You are the most insecure, most selfish.
Sticks and stones, Katana.
But I digress, it's time to talk about the color palettes for Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1, because it's very obvious what his color palettes are going to be, but a real quick shout out to the Fourth Snake for pointing this out on the Combat Kings podcast. Very similar to Omni-Man, we know that Homelander's palettes will reference characters from his own show. So for example, with Omni-Man, you had references to Adam Eve, Invincible himself, and so on. Pretty much every color palette for Omni-Man in the game was a reference to his show or the comics. So for Homelander, it's painfully obvious that his color palettes are going to reference each member of the Seven. Or in other words, he's going to have a color palette for the Deep, he's going to have a color palette for Black Noir, he's going to have a palette for Starlight, and you get the idea. Almost every single member of his team is going to be a color palette except for Translucent, who's completely invisible, and I don't think the NetherRealm is going to let the player pick a costume that makes them impossible to see. It's one thing to turn invisible for a short period of time, like Reptile or Smoke, but if your character is invisible by default, that would be way too overpowered. So as a result, Translucent will not get a reference on Homelander's outfit, but everybody else is going to have a color palette for him, which gives us 5 color palettes, which is the exact number that every DLC character has had so far. Because don't forget, Homelander is a member of the Seven, and that's going to be his default palette, so that leaves 6 more palettes, but take one away because Translucent is invisible, and then you're left with 5 color palettes in total. And for me personally, I can't wait to rock the Starlight colors. Not because I love her character or anything, she's fine, she's an okay character, but that's not why I'm excited. I've always loved gold and white. I think that is one of the greatest color schemes of all time. Ever since Halo 3, I've been rocking those colors. Anytime I play a fighting game, if they have the option to wear white and gold, I'm going for it. And as a result, when Homelander finally drops, I'm going to grind as hard as I have to get those colors as soon as possible. Which reminds me, don't forget the new season of Invasion is going to be all about Reptile, which means every character is going to get a green color scheme of some kind, and some characters might actually get reptilian skin, so look forward to that. I know for a fact that Sonika XD is losing his mind right now. Yes, he's excited for Homelander, but he is way more excited for the new season of Invasion because it's all about Reptile. And as a result, we're finally gonna get this skin in its default colors. But okay, back to Homelander. It's pretty obvious that his color palettes are going to be each member of the Seven. However, fingers crossed that we somehow get the A-Train to Africa color scheme, because it looks so terrible, but that's also why it's so iconic. And actually, now that I think about it, that costume has the same colors as the Melina season skins, the disgusting ones that everybody made fun of for looking terrible. Yeah, I just realized they look very, very similar to A-Train's Africa skin, which is really funny because that was not planned at all. That is 100% a coincidence, but I guess everyone just kind of knows that those colors don't go together and look really gross. But as you all know, I love making these videos interactive, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What color palettes do you think that Homelander is going to get in Mortal Kombat 1? Do you think my prediction is correct and we're going to get a color for every member of the Seven with the exception of Translucent? Or do you think NetherRealm is going to do something completely different and catch us off guard with some very obscure comic book references or something like that? Once again, let me know your thoughts down below. below because like I keep saying in every video, I truly do read each and every comment, so grab that keyboard and make your voices heard. Because next up, it's time to talk about Homelander's gear, and this was not quite as easy to predict as the color palettes, but even so, I'm almost certain of what Homelander's gear pieces will be. What I decided to do was compare the comic book version of Homelander to the Amazon TV show version of Homelander and try to look for any big key differences. And honestly, the costumes are very similar in the comic book and show. However, there is one really big difference, and that's the shoulder gear. In the Amazon show, Homelander is symmetrical with an eagle head on both of his shoulders. However, that's not the case in the comic book. Instead, he only has one eagle, but it's much larger. And the cape is also a bit different in the comic too, because it hangs over Homelander's shoulder. Which means if NetherRealm wants to include a comic book accurate version of Homelander in this game, then they would have to make his shoulders the gear piece, and that's my line of thinking here. Now with that said, it's pretty obvious the cape is also going to be included in the gear piece as well, because the shoulders just aren't a big enough detail to notice. So that's why I think that Homelander's gear piece that you can mix and match will be his shoulders combined with the cape. However, when it comes to the designs on the cape, I have no idea. It could just be a bunch of different American flags, because we've had a ton throughout the centuries. So very similar to Captain America's shield, they could try to mix and match a bunch of famous flag designs throughout American history, or instead the cape on his back could be a bunch of references to the comic book or The Boys Amazon TV show. Or honestly, they could mix and match both. Maybe some designs are American flags and then others are references to the show, maybe the comic book, you get the idea. But in summary, that's my theory for Homelander's gear piece options in Mortal Kombat 1. One more time, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think his gear pieces are going to be? Because at first I thought it would be Homelander's gloves and boots, but that's just too similar to Omni-Man, so I don't think NetherRealm is going to do that. Also, for a fun topic to end today's video on, the new Twitch skins that are still not available do finally have their names leaked, and as a result, that could mean they're on the way very soon. Just in case anybody watching is not up to speed, these Twitch skins are completely free. All you have to do is watch a few hours of Twitch streams for Mortal Kombat 1 and you get these skins for free. And last time there was 3 characters, but this time it looks like there's only going to be 2, and that's Sub-Zero and Tanya. And for Tanya specifically, she gets a brand new costume too, not just a new color palette. That entire costume is not in the game yet. Another day means more Mortal Kombat 1 news. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below, it helps the channel out a ton, and then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell so you never miss any future videos. We covered quite a few things today. We had Homelander's color palettes based on the 7 team members, along with his gear piece as well being the shoulders and possibly the cape. And then finally, the new Twitch costumes are likely right around the corner, along with the new season of Invasion that centers around Reptile. One more time, thanks for watching, make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.